Okay. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this press conference on European Border and Coast Guard. Today, the members of the European Parliament adopted the legislative proposal setting up the European Border and Coast Guard Agency. This adopted text will go to the Council for the approval. For this legislation, it is expected to enter into force in autumn. I will give now immediately floor to our rapporteur, Mr. PABRIKS, who will explain you in more details the outcome of the vote.
Thank you very much, and thank you for coming despite of the busy day. I'm really happy about this vote today in our Parliament, because I believe that this document, this piece of legislation, have a very high value for European Union, especially in these days, when there are a lot of questions about future challenges, global challenges to all our societies. Why it is important? Because it provides important additional and effective assistance to member states who are in the need if their borders are challenged and if they have a certain uneasiness themselves to manage these pressures on their borders. First of all, we are speaking about migration, of course, but secondly, we should not forget also about other challenges to our external borders, including cross-border crime, possibly terrorist threats, and also the questions of information exchange. Secondly, I believe that this vote and this document and this agency is important because in some way, by completing this work in a very short period of time, basically a few months, 4 or 5 months, we have been also showing, well, in some way also to ourselves, but also to our citizens, that we can make an efficient work when it's needed, and this efficient work is actually not compromising quality. And not always, actually, it has been happening in European Union, and we know that people frequently complain that, European bureaucracy and union is working not exactly very fast, which is understandable because it's 28 nations, at least at this moment. But in any case, 5 months, it's a very good speed, and we did not compromise quality. Thirdly, about the content. Well, I think the most important things are that in the times of a global challenge to European Union, when we are in the crossroads, where some are arguing that we have to be more fragmented, where others are telling we have to become stronger, maybe even more integrated, this concrete piece of work shows that we can cooperate very well. First time in European Union history, we create a rapid reaction force of all the nations who are contributing to this rapid reaction force, which are contributing 1,500 border guards to common security of European Union. So one thing is to plan something very far away, to speak about the EU army or something like this, which is not an easy dream. But to complete 1,500 border guards, to deliver equipment for them and finances, this is a job which is not a dreaming, it's not about paradise, it's about important issues here on today. I think our citizens will see the difference already at the end of this year, because this agency, if activated, can make a difference. Of course, this agency will not solve every and each problem what we are facing in the Union, but this is an important piece in a common puzzle of solutions. With that, I will stop. I believe that you are already at least partly introduced with the document, with major issues. I would be happy to hear your questions, and we'll try to answer them.
Thank you, Mr. PABRIKS. So I'll open the floor now for questions. Yes, please.
Vesna Klanac, I'm a journalist with the Croatian press agency. How did the vote go? Was it a unanimous vote or?
Not everybody voted for that, of course, because we know that at this moment in European Parliament we have more than 20% members of Parliament who are more or less in some respect against the European Union. But if we are counting that we have 751 members of the Parliament, we got, if I remember correctly, 481 votes, which is a good sign. And I really believe that if members of the parliament really, not just in their lip service, not in the words, but really care about the security of the union, care about the practical, efficient work, they have no chance to vote against. So I really think that those people and those factions and those politicians who voted against this agency, either they're living in the dream world or they did not really care about citizens, our member countries and our security.
Yes, please.
Hello, Thomas Kirchner, Süddeutsche Zeitung. You mentioned that the border guards would come when a member state would feel uneasy. What do you exactly mean by that, and what are the conditions that have to be met in order for the teams to come?
Dankeschön. It's easy to answer, actually, but it's a very important question. It is mainly described in Article 18, but also in a number of other articles. Basically, we are speaking about a situation where any of the member countries are facing a pressure at its borders. We start to think first about migration crisis, but it could be something else as well, because we have to think about the future. Starting from, as I mentioned, cross-border crime, some additional things, perhaps even some kind of a threat we cannot immediately imagine. Then, member country or agency, it depends who is noticing it first, are starting, I would understand, the consultations with the agency and require assistance. Then, if this assistance is granted, agency can use its rapid reaction force, so it's simply in a few days, 7 days, border guards, as far as the human resources, can arrive in the country. Technical equipment should arrive within 10 days, and the assistance is given. So, of course, we are thinking also about the hypothetical situation when country is facing problem and is not willing to have assistance. Because if you are a good legislator, you always have to think what else could happen. And there have been a lot of questions, will it damage somehow nation-state sovereignty? No, it will not, because agency is a supplement, like a food supplement, you know, it's like a vitamin. It cannot do work on behalf of a sovereign nation. Nobody abolishes responsibility of a sovereign nation to guard its own borders. But if the sovereign nation has a problem, this is why we have European Union. This is why we have solidarity. They can get an assistance. If it is not guarding, if it is not taking care of itself, let's imagine government who doesn't care about its citizens and country, and at the same time it declines the support, because Union has liaison officers, which is also one of the good ideas what came actually because we insisted from the Parliament, I insisted from the Parliament, that we must have liaison officers in border countries. If other countries observe that this country is not managing itself, not asking for assistance, then of course Council can convene and it should defend the rest of a union. So that would trigger possibility to temporarily renew a border controls between other nations and this concrete country. I really believe it will be a hypothetical case, because there should not be very sane government who is not caring about its country. But we have to also be able to answer to such questions. On the other hand, once the assistance is coming, I have to stress once more and once more. Member country is responsible and is coordinating all the work together with the support of agency on its territory. Because member country is the one which accepts operational plan. And as a former defense minister, I know that operational plan means basically how you operate concrete details. So if member country is not accepting operational plan, no support can be given, no borders can be crossed. Any other question?
Here.
I have just a question if these sub-agents, as we may call it, or maybe the guards or soldiers, whatever, they are under the payroll of the European Union, or they will be staff from European Union armies or countries of European Union, or it will be a European Union agents?
Well, we do not have a permanent standing corps, neither military nor a border guard or policeman, but the provision of this document suggests that every country is dedicated some part of their border guards and possible other stuff, what is needed, because it's not just about border guards, it's about different technical stuff, what is needed as well, on a kind of a readiness basis. So in some way it can be compared, even if comparison is not really correct, with European battle groups, because there is no standing European battle groups of people, but in each and every country there are a certain number of people who are for a certain period that are ready to be joining the action if required. So there will be no caserns or barracks or something like this. For instance, from my country, I represent here Latvia, we are giving for this rapid reaction force about 30 people, which is optimal number for us. We could do more if it's needed, but about 30 people who will be, of course, doing their daily duties at home, but if called up, they'll be ready to go. These people who will be on this readiness list, they probably will join also different kind of common trainings paid by European Union. And of course, when in mission, that will be paid by a common budget, not by a national budget.
Thank you. Some other questions? Vesna, yes.
Since there is no a standing European army, and this rapid reaction force will consist of the members of 27 member states, right? And are they going to train together from time to time? Or, I mean, do you believe that they're going to be highly trained like we see in the US Army? Are they going to be trained by NATO personnel, let's say?
Well, first of all, once more, it's not an army. Because borders are not guarded by army, except maybe some authoritarian countries like, I don't know, Russia, for instance.
Sorry for interrupt. Is it an introduction to the future possible European army?
No, I would keep these things separately. But yes, the document, our file, presumes that there are common training. And I think this is a very important issue, because these people must be able to work together. So it's not only that you are trained at home, but you must understand how other nations are operating. As far as equipment and purchasing of equipment, they must understand what type of equipment we have. So there is a lot of nitty-gritty small details which must be taken into account if these people have to act together. So I think it's highly important, and there are plans for this. I must say that we can be quite optimistic about this, because at this moment, already at this stage, when we are talking, and also before that, Frontex has been involving people and border guards from member countries. So we have an experience of such kind of cooperation. Only at this stage, this experience will be on higher stage, more efficient, better equipped, and they will be able better to deliver.
Yes, please.
Radio Slovenia, can you be more precise? What kind of equipment will be used by these troops?
They are not troops, they are border guards. Troops are in the army. Now, once more, otherwise somebody will misunderstand me. I have to keep these things separately. Well, we did not specify in a document what kind of equipment, because this would, sorry to say, simply mess up legislative work. Because in legislation you should not always go for such type of details, because then you will forget, for instance, night vision goggles, and somebody will say that we need to return document to the parliament because we did not include all types of equipment inside. So, but for your understanding, the small type of equipment, like, for instance, fingerprinting machines or night goggles or something which is small, that could be purchased by the agency. There is a possibility for agency, together with a member state, to make some procurement. And there is possibility also to lease or lend equipment, because it would not be financially wise for agency to buy ships or planes. But there could be a situation where they need such equipment, either for search and rescue, or for coast guarding, or for the returns of those migrants which cannot apply for asylum. And this is also a good possibility. So I think this would increase the cooperation between agency and member countries. This will make some kind of a stock of certain equipment, and that will give a chance also for lend and lease situations where you need for some period of time to take something like a helicopter, a chopper from a member country for a period of time, either with people or without.
So I mean small arms like pistols and rifles.
Well, if border guards need such kind of equipment, theoretically it's possible, but I believe that such kind of equipment is already given to border guards in specific member countries. So I don't think that they need to change their weaponry once they are going for a mission and agency, because neither Slovenian nor Finnish, nor Greek, nor Italian border guards are without weapons. They have weapons. So why should somebody buy for them something extra? At least I don't see why it's needed, but it's not for me to decide on this. This is why we have a director of agency.
Any other question? Okay, if this is not the case, I will close this.
Thank you very much, and I'm really happy about this document once more. I think it will make a difference. So in these times of turbulent political weather, this is a positive sign. Thank you very much.
Thank you.